Hello viewers, welcome to this video lecture series on Computer Networks Lab. I shall be explaining you about the networking devices that are used in these experiments. So to begin with, let me start with the very first networking device, that is called as hub. So a hub is a physical layer networking device. As I said in my previous video, that it is going to operate on the physical layer, and you know very well that out of the 7 layers that are there in the OSI model, the bottommost layer is called as the physical layer, and on this layer is what the hub, that is this device, operates, and it can connect multiple devices in a network. So what has happened is, see, previously what I told you in the video is, suppose if you have one PC and you want to connect it with another PC, you can directly connect it with a cable, and this particular cable which you use here will get connected. One end of this cable is connected to the Ethernet port of this particular PC. The other end of this cable is connected to the Ethernet port of the other PC. So as long as you have only two systems getting connected, so there is no need for any networking device. But the moment when you try to add one more system, suppose if you want to connect 3 systems now. Now look here, this Ethernet port is already used to connect the other PC. So suppose if I am naming the PCs as PC1, PC2 and PC3, already you have connected this particular PC to the other PC. That means this port is used. Now the same port, from this port you cannot connect any other system. So this is not possible. Then what is that you have to do? You have to make use of a networking device. We call it as networking device. That means it is a device which can connect more than 2 PCs, or any number of devices can be connected, more than 2. So these devices can be connected in a LAN. Look at this sentence, these devices, that means only in the local area network it is possible for you to use this device. Now what is the functionality of this particular device? What are the features of this device? Hub receives data packets from one port and broadcast it to all other ports. So before I start explaining these features, let me just read out the points first. Hub receives data packets from one port and broadcast it to all other ports. Normally a network hub have 8 or 16 ports. Since it broadcasts, it may lead to unnecessary traffic in the network. It only knows that devices are connected to the ports. It is not an intelligent device. It has no buffer or memory to save the MAC address of the destination host. So these points, whatever I read just now, I'll be explaining you with a diagram. So I am taking a 8-port hub. So let me just denote these circles as the different ports. 6, 7, 8. 8 ports are there. Then what is that I'll be doing? I'll be connecting some 8 devices. Fine. So now the functionality, that means hub works in this manner. Now you are able to connect more than 2 devices. So here I have taken one illustration wherein I am connecting 8 devices. Fine. 8 devices are there. Let me name it PC1, PC2, PC3, PC4, PC5, PC6, PC7, PC6, PC7 and PC8. Now these systems, definitely why we are connecting these PCs or devices is this particular PC should communicate with each other. So let us name the ports here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ports are there. Now suppose if PC2 wants to send a message to PC6, the hub has to send that particular data to PC6. That means it has to, I am showing with the arrow direction here. The data has come from PC2 and it has to go like this. So this is what we are expecting. But what hub does is, it will carry out in this manner. What does it mean? It is sending the data to all the other PCs that are connected. So we say normally it broadcasts the message. But what we wanted exactly is what? Unicast. One PC to another PC. 1 to 1 is unicast. But what it is doing is 1 to all. That means it is sending this message, it is copying this message to all the ports, and all the other devices or all the PCs that are connected to this particular hub are able to receive that message. So this is why we say this hub is not having any mechanism to store the MAC address of the devices. Hope you people remember the MAC address, which is a unique address, unique physical address. Okay, physical address that is given to every device by the manufacturer. Now suppose if it was carrying out this forwarding of the packets using the MAC address, then it is possible for the hub to send the data from PC2 to PC6. But here what it is doing is it is sending to all the PCs. That means it is not having any buffer, okay, or storage to store the MAC addresses of the PCs. It only knows that all these ports, like port 1, fine, port 2, like this, every port is having what? One device connected. So normally what is happening is, if the hub starts sending the message to all the devices or all the PCs that are connected, then what exactly it is doing is, it is going to create an unnecessary traffic in the network. It may lead to unnecessary traffic in the network, or by sending the message to all the PCs, we are wasting the bandwidth. So to overcome this kind of problem, let us see what other device we can use in the networking. But before we move on to the next one, you just remember these things. There are two types of hubs. One is called as the active hub and another is the passive hub. So the difference is, passive hub has only the hub functionality. Only the hub functionality in a sense, it receives the message, or it receives the data, sends to all the PCs that are connected to it. But active hub includes even the repeater functionality. Repeater will increase the strength of the signal. So this signal, whichever is sent from one particular host to the other host, the signal becomes weak as it travels. So active hub has got even one more functionality. What it does is, it increases the strength of the signal. So when it starts from the source host, and when it is moving to the destination host, okay, if this is the source and if this is the destination, if the signal becomes weak here, then definitely at the destination host we are not receiving the exact data. The reason for that only, this particular active hub is also having an inbuilt functionality of repeater, wherein it restores the original strength of the signal, and the destination host will receive the same signal that is sent by the source. So main points you just remember here. One is what? It is a physical layer networking device. That means it operates on the physical layer, and you can connect multiple devices, and you can use it only in local area network. And one important feature of hub is it is going to broadcast to all the other ports, and it may have 8 or 16 ports normally, but we have even the 4-port hub available. And because it is sending the data to all the networks, definitely it is going to lead unnecessary traffic in the network. And it is not an intelligent device, because it is not at all recognizing a device with a MAC address. Rather, it only knows that devices are connected to the ports. And definitely why it is not able to identify the devices with MAC address is, it has no buffer or memory to save the MAC address of the destination host. So this is all about the very first networking device which I decided to start with. So let me move on to the next devices in the list. So this is all about hub. If you find this video useful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye and take care.